Hello everybody, this is Angel Arts, and it is that time of year again. I always love audition season. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, in addition to video game Let's Plays, which take up a majority of the videos on my channel, I also am very heavily involved in running tabletop RPG campaigns on my channel as well. For those of you who don't know what a tabletop RPG is, maybe you've heard of this game called Dungeons and Dragons, where people essentially create characters that they roleplay as to form a party and go adventuring. That pretty much is what that is in a nutshell. And believe it or not, I have been doing this, well, I've been doing this on my channel specifically for almost 10 years now. I have been running 8 tabletop campaigns up to this point. I've done 3 Dragon Age campaigns, 2 Mass Effect campaigns, a Pokemon campaign, believe it or not, a Harry Potter campaign, and an original campaign that is built off of GURPS that's running at this moment called the Athenaeum campaign. I'll have links for playlists and stuff in the description below in case you were curious and wanted to check out what exactly all of this is. But every single year, I run auditions for people to participate in the next campaign. Now, this particular campaign is very special because this is not only the viewer's choice campaign, where I actually ask people to propose ideas for the next campaign and then vote on their favorite idea of the proposed candidates that I selected. It is also the penultimate campaign that I will be running on my channel, at least for a while. I will never say that I will never do this again after I take a break, but the fact of the matter is, I became a dad relatively recently. I have 2 kids now, and I kind of want to be there for my kids while they still want me around, while they still want to hang out and spend time with me. Maybe once my kids, reach adolescence and they want nothing to do with me, maybe I'll come back and do this again. But until then, I want to be able to, be available, obviously. So that's one of the reasons I'm trying to take a break. But at any rate, this is the last campaign that you can audition for, which is the 9th campaign. And so I wanted to tell you all about what the campaign is and how to audition for it if you're interested in auditioning for it. So as I said, there were 5 different ideas that you viewers had voted on, and the winning idea was what was proposed to be the Persona/Ready Player One campaign. So just to clarify things, Persona as in the Persona series video games, the campaign is not necessarily going to be taking place within any of the Persona video game universes, nor is it necessarily going to be taking place during the Ready Player One campaign. I only called them such. I only called them the Persona/Ready Player One inspired campaigns because that's probably the easiest way for me to describe to you what the premise of the main game mechanics of this campaign is, which is that you actually would be role-playing 2 characters instead of just one. One character is the quote-unquote real-life character in this city, somebody who, is just trying to get through the normal day-to-day of real life, such as maybe you're a struggling actor who is, who busses tables at a restaurant. Maybe you are a high school student or a college student like they traditionally have been in the Persona games. Maybe you're a single parent, etc., etc. And every once in a while, you participate or play this video game, this virtual other world where you have your own, in-game character or avatar or whatever you call it, who probably has, their own set of abilities, their own unique personality, their own agenda, again, within the confines of this virtual world. And so that, element is where the Ready Player One inspiration comes from. For the Persona inspiration, I'm kind of toying with the idea that in the Persona games, even if you have never played with them, part of the intrigue is that not only are you adventuring in this virtual world, but you're also, kind of gaming the real life part of your real life. And just trying to balance your social calendar, because you can't do everything. It's time management is a big thing. Relationships with the NPCs are very important, because boosting your relationships with certain characters could also affect your gameplay in the actual virtual world as well, etc., etc. I'm still figuring out all the details, which will happen once I actually figure out who my cast is going to be and who the characters are going to be. But just know that I'm kind of borrowing elements from both franchises in order to come up with hopefully something that's semi-enjoyable and semi-fun for you to be stuck with me for an entire year. So if any of that sounds appealing to you at all, here are the eligibility guidelines that you need to know about before you audition. First of all, you must be 18 years of age or older, please. Anyone who has never been a main PC, a main player character in my previous campaigns, may audition. As much as I would absolutely love to open the auditions to every single person out there, because this is the last campaign that I am running auditions for, again, for a while at least. I wanted to be able to reserve these spots specifically for players who have either A, never participated in any of my campaigns ever, who may even be fresh and new, or, who have always wanted to be in my campaigns or have been auditioning multiple times in the past and hadn't quite been able to get in previously. I want to be able to reserve those spots as well. And even if you had appeared in my previous campaigns as a spin-off character, because you were never really a fully fledged main PC, you can still audition for this campaign. You must be prepared to make a year-long commitment to this game, starting at the earliest. I'm thinking late June, early July at the earliest. You must also have a flexible or predictable schedule. What do I mean by that? Well, hopefully flexible schedule is pretty straightforward. Somebody who is able to shift things around so that we can select the perfect date and time. We typically play every other week for about, give or take, 5 to 6 hours. So if your schedule is flexible enough to be able to aid in scheduling it with the rest of the people in your group, that's super helpful. Or if your schedule is not that flexible but is predictable, what your calendar is like, well in advance. You don't have the kind of job where your boss can just call you up or text you the day of and be like, hey, look, man, I need you to work today. I need you to come in today. That sort of situation is not really conducive to a campaign like this, because it can be a bit unfair to the other players if, the day of you all of a sudden, can't make it to a campaign. If it happens multiple times, obviously things happen, life happens, emergencies happen. I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying if you are the kind of person who on a regular basis, your job or whatever other commitments that you have could require you to, commit to them, which is fine if you have other commitments. That's totally fine. But, if you are in that situation, this campaign may not be for you. You must have a webcam and a reliable internet connection. A big part of my tabletop campaigns it's very character driven, and because of that, it's super helpful to be able to see your face in order to really get into some of the deeper role playing, and a reliable internet connection, because of course this is all happening online, would help keep things running very smoothly from a practical, technical standpoint. And last but not least, you do not have to have previous role-playing experience at all. No previous RP experience is required. If you're somebody who has never done this but has always wanted to do it, if this is something that you thought that you would really get into and be committed to, I would love to have you in my game. So, once you meet all of the eligibility requirements, how exactly are you going to submit an audition video? So first, I would like you to create a video for me that is no more than 10 minutes long. Now, in the past, I think the time limit that I gave people for auditions was 5 minutes. I'm giving you up to 10 minutes. Note that I said up to 10 minutes, simply because of the 2-character aspect. So if you want to take a little bit of extra time to talk about, all of that, I'm giving you a chance to do so. Briefly introduce yourself, the player, telling us whatever you want to tell us, however little or much you want about yourself, in real life. Tell us about the world/setting that your real life character comes from. Is it much like the world that you and I are familiar with in real life? Is it a cyberpunk kind of world? Is it some kind of societal dystopian future? Is it a fantasy kind of world? And this game, this virtual, world that you are participating in or playing in, is more magical in nature, not necessarily technological. So I'm giving you some freedom to just propose what the real life setting is going to be like. Then tell us about your real life character. What are they like? What is their backstory? Why are they playing this game? Is it because of escapism? Is it because they've got some sort of, is it a pride thing or like a personal achievement kind of thing? Is this the kind of game that you can somehow, profit from, like monetize from? Maybe if you log in a certain number of hours, or if you accomplish certain quests, you actually get real life money. I don't know. I'm just, kind of brainstorming here. What are your character's motivations? Things like that. The next one is, tell us about the game or the virtual world that they participate in on a regular basis. Is it fantasy? Is it sci-fi? Is it like The Sim? Is it a superheroes, comic book, Power Rangers kind of game? Is it a steampunkish kind of world? Is it a Masquerade of the Vampire kind of world? Is it essentially Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? Because I know a lot of people were voting for, Pokemon Season 2. I'm open to possibly making the game like actually a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon MMORPG, if that's where people really want to go. One tip that I will give you is that I'm always looking for something fresh and new with each campaign that I do. And this is especially important because this is my penultimate campaign. When you are proposing the genre of the video game setting, virtual world setting in your audition, it would be to your best benefit to come up with a genre or setting that has not been covered by any of my previous campaigns. So you can certainly propose a fantasy campaign, you can propose a sci-fi campaign, but I will more than likely, at least by the time I decide what the genre will be, I will more than likely choose a genre or background setting that is as far away from the fantasy setting like Dragon Age, as far away from the sci-fi setting like Mass Effect, etc., as much as possible, for the sake of doing something, again, fresh and new. Next, describe your virtual character. What are their special powers, abilities, skills? What are their personalities and motivations like? And how do they differ from your real-life character? The next thing I want you to do is, because neither the real-world setting nor the video game or virtual setting has been predetermined, has been pre-decided by me yet, we're not going to do that until all the players have actually been chosen. I would like for you to list all of the types of video game worlds / genres that you would be interested in playing, in addition to the one that you're proposing with your audition. And try to be as exhaustive as you can. Because what I'll end up doing is, when I'm picking out the final roster of players, I'm going to factor in what sort of genres you all are open to playing in. So please be honest, don't just list a whole bunch of genres that you're not actually all that into or interested in, because you're essentially shooting yourself in the foot, and you're risking, kind of being stuck in a game with, playing a genre that you're just not interested in, and it's just not fair to yourself, nor to me, nor to the other players. So just be as thorough as possible, but as honest as possible too, when you're listing all the different genres of the video games that you're interested in. And the last thing I'm going to say, and this is really important that you all know up front before you audition, is that the virtual character that you propose will more than likely need to be tweaked, if not completely revamped entirely, depending on what the video game world or virtual world ends up being. Again, because I'm not predetermining or telling you all what it is, I kind of want to see what ideas you all have, and figuring it out later. Just know that you shouldn't go in being fully attached really to any of your characters, but more than likely, if any of the characters wouldn't have to be like tweaked or changed dramatically, it would probably more likely be your virtual character. So as an auditioner, please be prepared to be flexible depending on what the game genre setting will be. Because YouTube took away the ability to private message other people, once your audition is posted publicly, by the way, once it's posted publicly on your channel, please post a comment down below informing me that you have an audition on your channel, so I know to go and check it out. If I don't reply to your comment within a few days, it means that I didn't see it for some reason. So just try to comment again, and I'll do my best to look out for it. Please send me your auditions by Friday, May 6th, 2022. That gives you more than a month to send in your auditions. If you are interested at all, please consider joining the Discord server, my channel's Discord server. This time of year is super fun on my Discord server, because that's when things really get active on the server, because there's people that are talking about the campaigns, helping each other, offering to do like mock interviews to help people out. If you are like afraid or too shy to do something like this, consider doing a mock interview with some of the community. I have been told that it has helped a lot of people. There are people that have gotten into my campaign, and they said that a huge part of that is because the mock interviews, or just the community in general, and the support of the community in general, really helped to sort of get them past the hump, to really put themselves out there. So something that I would highly recommend if you are interested in hanging out and talking to people who are also very interested in tabletop gaming or role-playing in general. Hopefully that covered everything that you needed to know. If there are other questions that you have, please ask them in the comments section below, and I will try to answer them as quickly and efficiently as I can. So thank you again so much for watching. Good luck to everyone out there who ends up auditioning for this penultimate campaign. I am super excited, especially if you are brand new. I am super excited to meet you. And until next time, everybody, love yourselves and love each other.